What's up, you guys? There's a few things in tech from the week that I want to talk about. Of course, the Twitter hack. I want to give a quick update on what's going on with Moderna. And there's also a couple of new companies that I just found out about. One of them is actually my friend from elementary school, best friends in elementary. He's the CEO, not a knee of the curve. I know it's been a while since I did one of those. If you're new to my channel and you don't know what that is, that's the crown jewel of this channel. It's like Last Week Tonight for futurism, the daily show for tech. And yeah, I do a lot of research, write a lot of jokes. I have some comedians that contribute jokes. Great time. If you haven't seen that, check those out. The hilarious Twitter hack. They're calling it the great Twitter hack, but I'm calling it the hilarious Twitter hack. Joe Biden, Barack Obama, Elon Musk, Kim Kardashian, the list goes on and on. Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, just like 130 people got hacked, and everybody was telling everyone to just send Bitcoin to a certain address and they'll send you back double. Here's my experience with the Twitter hack. I'm sitting there writing the cryptocurrency episode for Knee of the Curve. I get a notification on my phone that Elon Musk is going to double my Bitcoin. I go, why am I getting notifications for fake Elon accounts? That shouldn't come to my phone. So I check the notification, and usually these fake accounts have like 36 followers instead of 36 million. This one has 36 million followers. And I'm like, this is Elon. Is Elon scamming me? Has Elon turned the corner into a crypto scammer? When I realized it was coming from his account, I gotta be honest, there was a split second where I thought about doing it. I thought about doing it. Even if you thought this might be true, like I did for a split second, all you got to do is open up the comments section, and there's just comment after comment about all the other people that are sending the exact same cryptocurrency message, and this is obviously a hack. I'll give you double the Bitcoin. The people that fell for this had to be the most, not only dumb, but extremely impulsive. It's like, what? That's good enough for me. Like, going for it to actively not search out any more information about this. It's really hard to feel sorry for those people. Also, how are people smart enough to own Bitcoins and then dumb enough to do this? What I also thought was funny is that I'm sitting there writing this cryptocurrency episode, and the video I'm watching is all about how Bitcoin is great for privacy and governments can't track you as well when you're using it. And then I start watching the Twitter hack, and I'm a little bit of a crypto novice, and I honestly didn't know you could just watch a crypto address and see all the transactions and where they're coming from, and then watch where they're going. This is something that you cannot do with cash. And I guess I was under the impression that cryptocurrency was as secure as cash, but Bitcoin is apparently incredibly transparent. It's anonymous, but it is not private. So anybody can see where this money is going. So if this guy wants to buy his mom some flowers or buy that Lambo, the cops are going to be showing up right there going, okay, well, you paid for this with this Bitcoin, so we know it's you. He can't use it for anything because it's being tracked. So it's just money sitting in an account. It's almost like he has not even stolen it. He's just convinced a lot of people to put their money somewhere else that no one gets. It's like, is it even a crime? Because if I convince a whole bunch of people to go just put their money and leave it in the park, and I don't ever go try and get the money, I haven't stolen anything. That's essentially what happened here. Hacking into Twitter, I'm sure, carries multiple offenses. But I want to know from the crypto experts out there, how would you go about getting this money and stay anonymous? I don't know how to do it. You tell me in the comments. That would be great. So I just found out about this, and I had to put it in the video because the Twitter hacker actually put an encoded message in the Bitcoin addresses that they used. And if you put them together, it reads, "You take risk when use Bitcoin for your Twitter game. Bitcoin is traceable. Why not Monero?" Meaning this hack was definitely deeper than we thought it was before. Who knows if they ever even planned to get the Bitcoin? Maybe it was just a big ploy to make Monero more popular. Monero is the kind of coin that you cannot trace as well as Bitcoin. All the transactions are not public the same way they are with Bitcoin. So my big question about how is he even going to get this money maybe doesn't matter, because they're not going to try to get it anyway. They just want people to go use Monero because it's more secure. Now the hack seems a lot smarter than it did before. Anyway, back to the video. A few hours after the hack, Twitter announced on their support channel, "We detected what we believe to be a coordinated social engineering attack by people who successfully targeted some of our employees with access to internal systems and tools." Essentially, they got control of Twitter's backend admin tool, and that's how they were able to take control of these accounts. So this was a social engineering hack. They convinced somebody to just just leave the door open for them. So almost immediately after this started going down, some insiders were privy to information about an account that led them to this guy, Plug Walk Joe, who they say is in real life a 21-year-old from Liverpool. And, allegedly named Joseph James Connor. I didn't know they had released that, so that's new. But this hack is a little bit like the coronavirus, where it's bad, but it could have been so much worse. You could have shorted Tesla stock and then just tweeted a ton of racist stuff from Elon Musk's Twitter account and made a ton more money, millions of dollars, instead of, a measly $100,000. Also, the point was made very early on that if this had been done on election day, then you had Barack Obama's account hacked. He could have been typing in, "You know what? Screw it. I'm voting for Trump." They could have had a deep fake of the president saying that. I mean, this is the kind of thing that's absolutely going to happen very soon. So the point with all this is we're going to have to become more and more savvy to hacks like this in the future, because this is just the tip of the iceberg. These hacks are getting worse and worse. Everybody is going to have to make sure they double check their sources, and please don't be like the 383 people that just completely impulsively raced to send their Bitcoins to Elon Musk. I mean, come on. Okay, moving on to Moderna. Their stock has been soaring this week. If you want a couple of videos that tell you exactly what Moderna does and how they do it, I've made a couple of those. I'll link those down in the description. But their stock is soaring this week because they published on the New England Journal of Medicine the full results from their phase 1 trial. They said that the vaccine induced anti-SARS-CoV-2 immunoresponse in all participants. To be clear, it means that it's creating the immune response, but those antibodies that are created, it's unclear yet if they will stop coronavirus from spreading or infecting the person. But the fact that it's working in all participants is a huge bonus. They've got phase 2 trials going right now, but they're moving on to phase 3 very soon. The other reason the stock is doing well is now it looks like the UK is in talks with Moderna to use their technology to create the vaccines in Europe as well. And now they have been trading up over $95 on Friday today. They're making deals all over the globe so that their technology, once proven, can be mass manufactured and just distributed to the entire world. You can imagine how much money that's going to make them. And they've got so many other products in the pipeline. And this is the kind of company that can eventually cure us of a ton of disease, maybe turn back the clock of aging. This is extremely exciting tech that is actually being accelerated by the shutdown. The next company I want to talk about is a gene editing company. And if you're familiar with CRISPR technology, CRISPR is a way to use the pre-existing mechanism of bacteria to identify threats and defend against them. And scientists have figured out how to use this naturally occurring defense mechanism to knock out specific genes. And I'm giving you this explanation because knocking out genes, that's what CRISPR's main function is. It's to sort of erase the gene that's in a certain place that's doing bad things. This new company it's a pencil, it's the pen. It can write. This is an article from Wired, and they say that Tessera Therapeutics is developing a new class of gene editors capable of precisely plugging in long stretches of DNA, something CRISPR can't do. For all its DNA snipping precision, CRISPR is best at breaking DNA. If you want to replace a faulty gene with a healthy one, you need a different tool. And if you need to insert a lot of DNA, well, you're kind of out of luck. Not anymore, thanks to Tessera Therapeutics. The company was founded in 2018 by Boston Biotech, investing powerhouse Flagship Pioneering, where von Maltzahn is a general partner, emerging from stealth on Tuesday with $50 million in initial financing. The CEO says, "We think of it as a new category. Gene writing is able to make either perfect deletions or simple base pair changes, but its wheelhouse is in the full spectrum, and in particular, the ability to make large alterations to the genome." Their website is here, Pioneering Gene Writing. Gene writing. This is going to be the new terminology that we talk about. We could be seeing a huge leap forward in human evolution. I'm talking gills. I'm talking X-ray vision. I'm talking possibly even like changing the structures, the very physical nature of what our cells are made of. We could become silicone based. We could insulate ourselves from the radiation of the sun. We could engineer ourselves to breathe things that are not oxygen. And as we spread out into the stars and in space, and the environments are so varied and harsh, this is the kind of technology that's going to help us get there. There's a section on their website called Focus Areas, and it doesn't say any specific diseases or therapies that they have in the works. It just kind of goes over the different methods and technologies that they use. One using RNA-based gene writing and one using DNA-based gene writing. The delivery methods that they use are piggybacking on existing technology like lipid nanoparticles, which is what Moderna uses. CRISPR's already doing a great job. There are people today who have had it done and are apparently cured of sickle cell. So CRISPR absolutely has a place, but it does have limitations. So to see a company like Tessera Therapeutics come out of stealth mode and say, hey, we can do this now, is incredibly exciting. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's next for them. I also want to talk about Berkeley Lights, who just IPO'd today, and the CEO is like my best friend from elementary school. That best friendship didn't last all the way through high school and beyond and whatnot. We grew apart, but in elementary school, we became blood brothers in his backyard by touching our knee scabs together. Eric Hobbs is now the CEO of Berkeley Lights. They are a microfluidics company. They've just been written up in Forbes. So their IPO was today. And this is an article about how Bay Area COVID fighting startup files for 100 million IPO. And this is my buddy, Eric Hobbs. I gotta say, I'd get rid of the little spike here. I would do that. I think you're gonna get more. Maybe you could have filed for 150 million IPO if you just shave down that spike there. I think that's probably the thing to do. Let's read about them. It turns out people have really rare immune cell clones that are specific for coronavirus. Maybe one cell in 1,000, but how do you pull out those needles in a haystack? So Berkeley Lights, they have this device that can trap over 10,000 individual cells and measure the antibodies coming from them. Eric's company, Berkeley Lights, is actually the perfect company to help vaccine companies like Moderna or, Johnson & Johnson, Merck. All these vaccine companies are designing vaccines to create certain antibodies which they hope will be preventative for the disease. Eric's company takes the hoping and the guesswork out of that. This is Eric explaining, we have this technology which can move cells into isolated chambers known as nanopens, which is a very happy place for a cell to be. Because we control the environment, we can get cells to produce antibodies in the right amount, and then we can actually measure. Before this sort of digital cell biology became available, researchers would have to perform a hybridoma study, which involves injecting live animals with the virus and waiting for them to produce antibodies, which could take up to several months. In the case of antibody discovery, we're going from a manual process that would have taken maybe 100 days to a fully automated one that takes 10 hours. Wow. So this is the kind of technology that you could take cells from someone who's had COVID, and in 10 hours, you find all the different antibodies that are associated with coronavirus, and bam, you know exactly what to produce as far as a vaccine. I tried to get some. They were supposed to open at $22 a share. I tried to get some at $23, but then they ended up opening at $51. I got some at $56, and right now they are at $64. I have an in with the CEO, so I'm hoping to get him in an interview, and maybe you'll be able to hear from him in person on the show. So if you haven't subscribed, definitely do that so you don't miss my interview with the CEO of Berkeley Lights, Eric Hobbs, my blood brother. Hook it up with a like if you liked it. Let me know in the comments how you get that money that the Twitter hacker stole and do it without getting caught. I'm working on that crypto episode. As soon as I get done with this one, I'll be back to writing that. Huge shout out to the patrons who are keeping me in this job and keeping it happening for you. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it.